Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha. Naturally, the etymological derivation of the word sports itself clearly gives the idea that it deals with any pleasant acts of leisure. So that which gives you jubilance, that which gives you comfort and relief is said to be a sport. And without any explanation, it is implied that any discussion or congregation regarding that sports should be equally enthralling and exhilarating. So this occasion of a brainstorming discussion towards sports and its development and Indian standards as well as tradition and utility of technology like computer courses and physical education courses for development and establishment of the sport education in the society is individually dealt by each and everybody in their own angle. And as keynote address or summary address, I want to present few of my views within the limited time span offered to me. So I have already told, sport is an action which gives you comfort, which gives you relief, which gives you bliss, and which gives you some sort of vitalism and dynamism. So naturally it should be so, but whenever we think of sports as an enjoyable thing, as a spectator is different from the person as a coach, participant and achiever. If you ask any achiever or coach about the sportive nature of the sport itself, they will say that it is not so sportive, it is very tiresome, it is very risky, it is very challenging. So we call sport as leisure, but it is a risky exercise. We call sport as to be a jubilant exercise, but it is always strain giving and arduous in each and every movement. So it is a joy of being arduous. Somebody asked me whether a sport is something joyous or tedious. Then we explained that the joy in being tedious is known as sports. Unless a person gains that particular ideology where a person can rejoice risk and challenges. If it is mere joy, that will be futile. If it is mere risk, then there is a curse on us. So there should be a blended mixture of some sort of ability within us by which we can relish and rejoice each and every challenge that have been put competitively. Which is competition to us? Yesterday is competition to today. Our yesterday is competition to our today's achievement. Our counterpart is also a competition. Any other person or any other faculty is a competition to our things. There are 4 types of competitions. One is personal, interpersonal, provincial, disciplinic, historical or periodical. Innumerable competitions are there. So to take on risks and challenges and competition and to be always triumphant and understand that triumph is something to be achieved every day and it is not a constant and permanent grand prix given to us is known as sport. Sport is an advanced mentality which should be there in each and every personality to gain success, to withstand success, to distribute success in each and every element of the society. Sport is a composite phenomenon not only reflected in play games. So to start with the briefing of philosophy, we used to call in our tradition Krida, Kheli, Leela. There are innumerable names for calling of these sports. And sports are of 4 types as per the traditional calculation. One is known as promotive, which promotes us. Second is a stabilizer, which makes us stable. Third thing is a reliever, which gives you some sort of interim comfort. Fourth thing is a booster, which not only is physical, but also intellectually you are uplifted to everything. And second thing is sports has been further classified in the Shastras as simple sports, which are very much common, which can be accessible to everybody. Arduous or risky forces, which are a little bit difficult, and Herculean tasks, which are very dangerous to a person's life and his existence. So innumerable sports are there. Everybody should not be brought under the umbrella of the same sports. Innumerable types of sports are there. There are personal or ekanta sports. There are duel matches. There are people who are meant in the form of groups and collective agencies to work further. So there are personal or individual sports. There are group sports, collective sports, or dual sports, and there are competitive sports, serious sports and sincere sports. Innumerable things are there. Sensitive sports are there like trekking and climbing, where each and everybody is having their own tension. And there are serious sports like war. War is also a sport, but it is a serious one, where a person's nation, the dignity, a person's life, and the future, everything is vested upon. So there is also innumerable types of such forces. The Shastra says that the sports should have few phenomena. Number one, it should be anayasa. It should be effortless. For a practitioner, it should be giving sweat and lot of other parishrama, what we call exhaustion. But for an accomplisher, it should be anayasa, very simple and casual. Second thing is ahlada, it should give bliss. Third thing, atishaya, it should produce some sort of wonder within you and also to the spectators. The spectators, they are jumping. The same joy should be within you without jumping. So this is known as atishaya. It should be then arogya, it should provide you health. Apart from arogya, it should give you anusandhana, deeper meditation of the mind, promoting your intelligence more. And finally, it may not be accepted by most of the people now. Anugraha, it should bestow divine grace upon you. Sports should have all of these various components to be perfect and precise in its standard. This is what we call sports. And there are two senses which we call the sense of mind and sense of body, physical execution. It is known as aesthetic ability, it is known as athletic ability. Mind and body, they should conglomerate to give all of these benefits. And finally, coming to the definition of what we call sports, we used to call pre-creative, creative and recreative sports. That which is giving you more valor, glamour and color, that which increases the ability of your precision of your innovative mind to perform more. They are known as creative skills like chess, etc. Pre-creative skills are not directly giving you anything, but they create a foundation by which your intellectual journey can be successfully made. And recreative skills are meant for rest, solace, peace and comfort. And now recently, there is a special faculty known as philosophy of sports. There is an international journal for the philosophy of sports and there is an international association for the philosophy of sports, IFBS. So they are doing a lot of research on the impact of this type of sports on an individual, society and for the global issues, how to promote not only sports to be promoted for sports welfare, how sports can be promoted for scientific, social and spiritual welfare is also being researched by modern people. We should be in the broader paradigm of the research of modern trend. And coming to the history of sports, somebody asked when sports started. It is told in Shastras, Lokavattu Lila Kaivalyam. God creates the world sportively. So the sport has started when the creation was started. Bharataha Kandukairiva. Just as we play with balls, God plays with the species and spaces. So it is the statement which says that it is an antediluvian game which is very eternal. Sports is an eternal game and being the replica of God, we have to replay the same game which He has played upon us. But it should be precise, it should be goal-oriented, it should be having all peace-orientedness and order and happiness to be provided to people so that there should be cross-cultural relation, transnational relation and interpersonal and intrapersonal harmony should be developed for achieving global harmony. That is the purpose of sports. The immediate purpose of sport is achievement. The ultimate purpose of sport is national pride or dignity or global standards of peace. The final purpose is to bring all the people under the same planetary consciousness beyond the borders of what we call as a linguistic, ethnic, religious and various other disparities that exist in the society. The purpose of sports is unity and sports is the only tool by which you can go for unity. Even in religion, unless you are taking the sports of religion, you cannot bring unity. Mere theory of religion cannot bring unity at all. Whenever we talk about the visible history, we have started the 4 millennia old of the gymnastics that existed in the Chinese category. We are seeing also in the Pharaoh and Egyptian schools of thought of what they have developed in swimming, fishing exercises, javelin throw exercises, high jumping was there, wrestling was as old as the world's creation. Whenever human beings started and knowing each other and cultivating something, they started fighting. So wrestling started when human beings in their advent of civilization saw each other. Immediately the first art that innovatively and innatively, spontaneously that blossomed was wrestling. It started as a play and ended in fight. Now in the second era of sports, whatever that we have been doing in fight, we are doing in sports now. So there are two eras of human civilization that which started as fight, ended in sports, that which has started in sport and ending in fights, wherever we are seeing in various corners of the society. In Persian school also, there is Zarkone, which is the ancient martial art, there is the jousting art, and there is also the polo, which is very familiar now. It has been introduced by the Persian industry, and India is very much famous for its own calisthenics. There should be a separate research seminar on Indian martial arts, calisthenics, acrobatics and various other exercises in the form of trans-meditative and trans-mediative nature. There should be a separate seminar for that. We had our own systems of wrestling. We had animal fight. We had innumerable these things, like whatever we have now in various other advanced systems we had. And 5 major physical abilities which we call swimming, running, jumping, shooting and throwing. These 5 things are the 5 major physical abilities, basic abilities, which have been developed in India by means of advanced exercises. There were exercises in the form of puzzles and riddles, in the form of abacus and chess and other plays for intellectual or cognitive ability boosting. Further, there were advanced things known as phonosensual movement, binding their eyes without seeing anything by understanding the visible movements. By feeling the vibrant movements of the opponents or opponential weaponry, they were able to fight. That is known as phonosensual movement was there. Then multi-calisthenistic ability was there, multi-personal combat was there, unipersonal combat was there, multi-weaponry combat was there, then simultaneous combat was there, innumerable such things were there, ambidexterity was there, dexterity was there. Dexterity is fighting with weapons, without weapons. So ambidexterity is fighting with the 2 different weapons simultaneously. These things were there. Mystic warfare was there, missile warfare was there, yoga was there, diet, food and physical education was total intermingled and they developed as a hybrid culture. Apart from that, Vyayama, a separate art for physical education was formed before thousands of years in the Vedic scriptures. And now in the practical thing I have already told, whatever we have been doing in the fighting was the first place, now it has entered in sports. It started with combat arts. Combat arts, innumerable combat arts are even in India. We are having innumerable combat arts like the Tanta is there, we are having Ghatta is there, and we are having Pahilwan, we are having the Kadaripayattu in the Kerala, it was there. So using the weaponry also, they used lancer, they used mace, they used disc, they used bamboo in Silambatam, and they have been using swords which is Khadga Yukta or Surultati Yukta in Tamil they used to call, they were using dirons, everything was there. The thing is, whenever you directly go to mere sports, it creates only 3 things. One is feeling of violence, second is feeling of strain, third is feeling of futility. Whenever you fight or do something, you get nothing, that is futility. You get strain for yourself, that is known as strain, and you provoke violence, that is known as violence. So unless the concept of body united with concept of mind and soul is indulged, it is a mere strain, it is futility or it ends in violence. So Indian system of acrobatics, calisthenics or athletics, whatever you call the innumerable mere physical exercises, they have implanted the study of mind, application of consciousness and intrusion of soul and a purposeful, that is what we call teleological use of sports. Ontoteleological use of sports, by which they have understood that the futility, if applied with mind and soul, it can be converted into utility, strain can become gain, and violence will result in positive vehemence, which will come for the rescue of national dignity and social equality. So this type of conversion is possible by the understanding of the present era. After 10 years, everybody is going to do MSc, BSc, PhD, DLit, DSc in sports, only in the subject known as application of consciousness, overruling computer and physical education in sports. Not assisted by computer and physical education. That is going to be the rule of the world after 10 years, which we are going to sow a small seed today within the limited space. And coming to the conclusion, I want to quote a few points. In the comeback, I have already told innumerable things are there. Now sportive dimension has been given, I have already told sportive dimension is given. Now the same war is sportively conducted in the form known as war dance, in which with musical assistance and dance performance, the same war with the weapons are given a mild touch to provoke bravery, to induce patriotism, to see equality, to see the possibility of positive vehemence in protecting the nation and also progressing the nation in a processive methodology. Now war dance is being researched by innumerable Western scholars. But war dance started here. War with music, war with dance, and war with all cultural amenities and paraphernalia was only invented and innovated here in India. So Eastern people, we also should throw some lights by research on this particular area. And not only somebody used to say physical sturdity is very much required for sports, it is not like that. As all the people who are physically sturdy, they are not sportive in nature. Physical sturdiness need not be the particular parameter or eligibility or prerequisite required for sports. Now recently we know that lot of people in the tradition were closing their eyes and they were fighting, sitting in a place and fighting. So physical ability like optical vision, audition and motion is not essential for sports, which has been proved by modern history. It has been proved for thousands of years. In the year 1924, especially there was a silent Olympic game played for the International Council for Sports, especially for the deaf. 1924. 1948, there was a wheelchair competition made for those people, those who are physically disabled to walk. For those people it was conducted, which has now become the Paralympic Games. Now, in the year 1986, a special international federation has been formed for the intellectually disabled people to develop their sports. And 2006 recently, extremity games like mountaineering and trekking has been made possible for people, those who are having limbs disabled. So, ability in sports is the cognitive ability of bravery. It is the confidence level of the mind. It is the dedication and determination of the mind to achieve anything. If you want to achieve something, and if you are focused honestly towards that, sparing no effort, your physical debilitation or your physical deficit is not a barricade for that. That is a rule model. So there are a lot of people, those who are physically sturdy and those who are cognitively, hopefully disabled or handicapped. There are innumerable people, those who are confidence handicapped in the society. Those people are not masculine enough to enter into the sports. The sports of social responsibility, the sports of a citizenship responsibility is developed if you are properly developing a sport. A real sportsman will certainly be a real citizen to the nation, really a good human being to the world, and a real devotee to the God in the form of nature and truth. So sportsmanship is something in completion. Now sports means we are having universal standards, like for Oscar for entertainment, for achievement Alfred Nobel. Then for writing, Pulitzer Prize. Like that, there is an Olympic imagination or dream situated in each and every person. So we should think about Olympic. Olympic, you see, 300 events they are conducting with 30 disciplines and 26 type of sports, innumerable summer, winter, innumerable campaigns they are doing. That has become the aim for each and everybody. And there are three problems in discerning the aim, which I am going to complete in this inaugural session. Whenever you go for some sort of talent, you need some aid. One is the inner aid, second is the external aid. External aid is scriptures, practices, observations, teaching, coaching and other things. The technical help is computers. Now in the development of technology, each and every portion, industrial development and technology, computers. Computers are very much omnipresent in each and every growing faculty of the society. Likewise, it is also omnipresent, it is also ubiquitous in this industry. In computers, I am going to give something which is about to be thought or contemplated by the future society. Number one is, now computers are very much used only for basically two things. One is motion analysis, and the second thing is methodology study. What is motion analysis? Whenever somebody is doing some work, that work is coming from an instinct. If somebody is throwing a ball, he cannot explain how he has thrown it. That is his instinct. But when the same thing is recorded in computer, by means of visual morphing, by means of virtual reality, by means of modulation and simulation methodologies, by means of various other areas where the visual effects can be made for restoration, slowing down, fastening, captivation, boosting, morphing, hypermorphing and haptical achievements that are there made in the graphics and the various advanced multimedia technology, we can see what the instincts are there. Instinctive visualization. We can see how we have thrown the ball. Second thing, we can get an impression and implant the same thing cultivated inside. So pattern design, pattern understanding, four things are there in computer benefit. If you can see the pattern, you can teach others. Number one. Number two, impression. If you have the same feeling, you can do that. Third, inspiration. If you get some inspiration, you can do some other thing differently. Innovation. If you see something, you can produce something very new which is not there. So by seeing that, you can either imitate it or initiate it or repeat it or differentiate it or innovate or produce something which is not there in the industry. That is possible. So by means of this type of visual monitoring, we can get what is the style of the person, what is the show of the person, what is the sensitivity of the person, motion of the person, speed of the person, turn of the person, way of the person, positioning of the person, and sequential understanding of the athletic performance ability of a person can be watched screen by screen, frame by frame, and it can be cultivated within us. That is the first benefit, which is not there very properly in our place. And second thing, second benefit is methodology. Whenever you see the methodology of performance of a person, we can get three benefits. One is equality, how to be like that. Disparity, how to do the same thing in a different fashion. Third thing is excellence, how to compete with the person and beat him. So these three instincts are created by methodological study, by means of which normal appliances are there in computer technology. For example, for pitch tracking, for tracking of a pitch, now there is a radar gun. By shooting of the radar gun, you can track the pitch of the person, which is not easily possible unless you are instinctively supernatural in nature. It is not possible. Apart from that, statistical report by spreadsheet technology, spreadsheet application is there. Statistical report of innumerable data can be mined, secured, procured and distributed. That is a facility. Then display facilities are there. Multi-channel display, picture-in-picture display, boom display, boost display. These display facilities are there. Education facilities are there. You should understand 2000 AD, University of Tennessee, they have introduced computer education in physical education as well as sports for monitoring, for recording and for evaluation. It was been started in the University of Tennessee. Apart from that, there is also web designing for informatics. You can give information about schedules, about the statistics, you can give information about the team agency news that is happening between the coach, between the interviews, between the people, players and the public participants, everything you can relay or telecast. Then we can also deal with the tickets, entry, booking and all other social services, clientele services you can do. The advertisement agencies are there by which they are getting benefits. So computer is there at least in 100 different disciplines of the physical education as well as the now called sports management as well as sports administration. Innumerable things are there. One major contribution of computers is simulation. By simulation only everything is happening. I want to quote two things. Number one is there is one US Olympic Training Institute at Colorado. That Colorado University in swimming exercises they have made three major studies. When somebody is swimming, water flow is just accommodated by a person by his counter swimming. If a person is having counter motion, he is accommodating that water. While accommodating water, what is the rate of water and what is the flow level or flow curvature of the water that is passing through the person's limbs and other penetrable areas. So that is being studied, number one. It is known as copying. Second thing is known as turbulent evaluation. What is the water turbulence and what is the counter energy required? That is being studied. Third thing is stroke designing. If such water is flowing on such levels and the turbulence is so and so, how the stroke should be there, the stroke level, how it should be designed. You know that movements automatically they constitute strokes. When you are in danger, when you are put inside a well, irrespective of your knowledge in swimming or not, you will try to do that because that is the instinct of physical defense. Like that, properly tuned, what is sports? Instinctively you have sportive feelings. Organized presentation of your sporting feelings is known as sports. All the feelings you are having inside. But whenever you want, they may not come. They may not come in the proper order it should be. So sports is an exercise for regulating the already existing sportive behavior or response inside you. So the stroke is being simulated. Second thing, in yacht racing also, the hull designing is simulated for lesser resistance. Third thing, recently they conducted Lakeside City. At Utah there was conducted the Winter Olympic Games, wherein by there was a track skiing methodology followed by computer simulation. Each and everybody participant, they have been given a small chip, observer chip that is instilled on their ankles, and tracks are also mounted with some sort of identifiers on the snow pathway. So that when the people are moving in the skiing exercise, the judges sitting at a remote place can see each and every inch of the location, number, speed, and each and every part and particle of the motion was being observable. So these are the innumerable benefits. But according to me, I should not just say statistical reports. I want to add something. Apart from this computer, naturally our cognitive ability is 100 times more. Anybody becoming computer dependent will become permanently dependent and innate skills will be eroded. Whenever you see something, there are few qualities within ourselves. What are they? Number one, what is the timing required? Naturally, there is a clock without numbers inside. There is a clock inside your mind, but it has neither needles nor numbers. It has precision more than the clock with needles and numbers. We should understand that innate skill, that is a cognitive ability. So what is the timing required for me to swim? What is the velocity that I do? What is the target acquisition? What is the precognitive aid? I am having a precognitive aid. If I throw something at this speed, it will hit that. I am having a precognition. I am having a predictive skill inside my mind. It is a futuristic view of human consciousness, which is a special inbuilt natural or God-given gift. I should not lose that. So whenever you do that, how you can do that? Cognitively there is a skill, subjection, jump inside the water. Then automatically consolidated energy assessment mechanism inside you will work and it will give the turbulence level of that water. Counter generation, when you understand that is 10 units, naturally the resistance inside you will create 12 units, that is counter generation. Then you do the trial. Then if it is less, then intensify it, then process and accomplishment. So subjection, then evaluation, counter generation, trial, intensification, accessing or processing and accomplishment are the natural skills inside. Our Indian technical or traditional system should teach people how to be computer having as a starter responsibility in human life or athletic performance, not as a runner and permanent household relation with computers. It should not be developed at all. So coming to the real sense of conclusion, what we are going to develop in future, if there are research scholars here for projects, we can say number one, auto coaching. We can coach ourselves. Auto coaching softwares are to be created in computers. Second thing, energy assessment. Whenever you lift, hold or throw something, that energy should be replicated in the computer by a simulation in the monitoring, so that you can increase your energy and ability to do that. That softwares are not available now. Third thing is cognoprosthetic devices for supplementing your brain deficiencies and cognitive functions. That should be there. Brain cognitive, that is very much essential. Fourth thing is neurophysical coordination enhancement. Lot of people, they are having interest in mind, but optical sensation is not proper. If optical vision is proper, physical ability is not cooperating. So there is always a combat or clash between our own coordination elements. So there should be neurophysical coordination enhancers. Fifth is modeling. Taking Mike Dyson, taking Tendulkar and all of his pictures, a simulation modeling exercise should be created. We can manufacture. Same thing on seeing that we can do like that with Drona, Eklavya could perform and excel even Arjuna. The same type of modeling is possible even without getting trained under these people. That is not a simulation modeling, also stimulation modeling. There is a name for that. So we should develop that, and also special cogno-processing chips to be developed for getting advanced benefits. It should be there. More research methodology and documentation should be implanted now. It is not so much essential. Equipment should be designed more. Protective equipments, enhancer equipments, gadgets should be designed. And also spiritual health is very much essential, and physical health is also essential for the sportsman people. So health oriented things for injury prevention, injury protection and injury immediate relief, pain relief and other things, science and computers, they can derive at more medical formulae to be encompassed for getting this type of benefits for the people. And finally, new games can be invented. There is no invention of new games. Second thing is already existing games which are very flexible, lesser value, that can be more converted into rigid and knowledge oriented and power oriented, so that it will not become a criminal wastage of time, energy and money, which is there in existing in most of the games which I don't want to tell the names. So games should be newly invented, and games and the risk should be intensified, so that playing of the game, waiting for seeing that game, bidding on that game, waiting for that game, investing our risk, energy, future and everything will become really valuable if the game includes some sort of merit of intellect, physical stability and practical utility in the society by personal development or transpersonal development. These two things are very much essential. And in physical education, there is International Council for Sports Science and Physical Education. They have given 10 major research subjects. 3 days we are going to discuss. How to develop athletic training, how to develop coaching, what is exercise science, what is dance science and exercise, what is physical education, health education, and what is recreative education, what is sports management and administration. 10 major modules have been developed with people and they are doing research on that. And you know that 1978, November 21st, the 20th session of the United Nations UNESCO Charter, which dealt with the International Charter of Physical Education and Sports. Especially they have given few sorts of regulations for the society. Number one, sports and physical education is a fundamental human right. The first statement itself is, it is not an elective, it is not an optional thing, it is not selected for only sportive people. It is selected for all human beings. Even all subhuman beings like insects and animals and birds, they have their own sports. But the sports are blended with their practical and casual way of life. As we have moved away from the casual way of life, we have to start a new phenomenon known as sports. Otherwise, if we were non-human or subhuman, these sports would have been a part of our life itself naturally without being invited through universities and other people. So naturally it was there. So it is a fundamental right. Second thing, it should be a supplementary to overall education, not as a separate education. Third thing, it should cater to the needs of an individual and the society. Number fourth, it should have proper qualified persons to coach and methodology should be there. There should be proper equipments and facilities available which are not there in most of the places. The coaches, when they are asked in solitude, they will lament their anguish and agonies. So equipment and facilities and social encouragement as well as political encouragement is not there. Whenever cups are received, a lot of people are there. Whenever the strain is there, stress is there, nobody is to help. We know about all of these people as we have been attending a lot of conferences and personally discussing with these people. So equipment and facilities should be there. There should be also proper research and evaluation. There should be moral and ethical values in sports. Now somebody told that they are doing PhD. I asked the subject, ethical and moral values in sports. So whenever everything starts, it starts with history. develops in science and technology, ends in ethical problems. That is the nature of all sciences and technologies in society. Now they have been discussing about other things. National consensus should be there, international consensus should be there, documentation and sport informatics. Like sport economics, sport informatics is a new science which is developing now, information technology. And positive influence through mass media. These 10 major things have been included in the global or the international charter for physical education and sports, which we have to realize. The International Association for Sports Science and Physical Education, they are doing exclusive research only on ethical science in sports. 4 major points are there in Indian system. Number 1, you should understand, if you want to lift a big rock for which you require 100 units of energy, you should not idiotically think that the 100 units of energy should be supplied by your body. 100 units of the energy, 20 or 25 units of energy for your physical sturdiness will be induced by the power of your mind, which will give you the 75 additional one. The modern bodybuilding people, they are interested only in muscle building. They are more making the body fleshy by more consumption of food, unruly food and unhealthy diets. They consider body as the only reason for physical activities. They say that soul, if you do with the soul, soul is the origin. Intellect is the coordinator. Mind is the director and body is the executor. If the power is coming from the soul, coming through the intellect, released through the mind and coming to the body, minimal body energy is more than enough to do a thing which is not even performable by a person with robust physique. So we should understand Indian system of calisthenics deals with the role or influence of mind power into the body with minimal physical power to safeguard yourself. Second thing, food. In our system, food and diet, they play the major role, which is not there in the Western system. You know that anybody without the rule of mind, mere developing physique by means of advanced performance of gymnastics, everybody, they are paralyzed or impotentialized. You are seeing the history. Most of the bodybuilders, they die with paralysis or lay with paralysis because hyper instigation of nerves and muscles by means of a coercive push without a proper dietic balancing as well as the internal coordination of the inner elements of human mind, intellect, etc., that results in physical debilitation soon. So food and diet should be there. Third thing is, you should, that's what Yoga Shastra says, Sthiram Sukham Asanam. You should be tranquil and simple. Anybody is superfluous in doing things or anybody restless and ferocious in doing things, they are not knowing how to do. You can simply do something very casually. That's what I told. Leela means anayasa. Without any effort, you should do that. Fourth thing is power acquisition. If you are just walking for 4 or 3 hours, 10 to 15 kilometers, the same pressure that is collectively given by that 4 hours of walking and strain can be given by Vajrasana or Kuta Padmasana. By means of a mild way of performance, similar energy, similar charge, transformation, progress or release of any energetic particles is possible by a simpler way. Simpler way is Eastern method, sophisticated way is Western method. Casual way is Eastern method, coercive method is the Western method. So we should learn how to be simple and happy, how to be simplistic and then be successful more than the other people, those who are struggling and suffocating. What is power acquisition? If you are shooting something, then we have to take all the power agencies to be concentrated in your anahata, in your heart. The same thing you should imaginarily, it is known as imagineering, energy imagineering. You should derive the same energy to this ankle, you should derive the same energy to this elbow, you should derive the same energy to this finger, you should derive the same energy and concentrate it in the fingertip. So zone 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, which is the originational zone, which is a distributive zone. Third is the hub. Fourth thing is the receptive zone. Fifth thing is the executive zone. Sixth thing is the spot, executive spot. So we should get that spot acquisition. One day I hope that with our institution, with the help of all of people like you, we can organize a seminar on how energy concentration or power acquisition by means of simplified motions, more using the power of mind and balancing of mind, using the system of our traditional science can be utilized for athletic success. That should be the real way. And coming to the real message of this thing, if you study mere philosophy or history, whatever I have told, along with the computer education as well as this physical education, you cannot get success in sports. Because there is sport economics, there is sport politics, there is sport law, there is sport science, there is sport medicine, there is sport marketing and management. Innumerable things are there. Future, I want to say that instead of starting all of these things like engineering colleges, medical and other things, there are millions of jobs assured for the people of the next decade in this sports alone, in medicine, in law, in marketing management, in various other faculties. So millions of jobs are there without any repetition, without any rejection, without any dejection, without any negligence. There are innumerable opportunities. That should be a separate seminar on job opportunities and sports futuristics. Job opportunistics and sports futuristics. That should be a separate seminar on all these things. What is this sport economics? You know that 2006 when there was a World Basketball Cup, it was envisioned by 700 million people. 2007 when there was a great bowl game which was about to be given for advertisement, for a 30-second slot they asked for $2.6 million for 30 seconds. How much money is wasted? You should have the social dimension or social phase of sports. Social dimension of sports is considering the temptation of people towards sports, money should be accumulated in a particular area and a considerable proportion should be granted for universal betterment and global sustainability. If 1 billion of people in the society are going for sleep without the food for their belly in the nights, how dare you can play for 30 seconds of advertisement for $2.6 billion? This type of injustice offered to the poor and the deprived, that is retaliated in the form of natural disasters, collapse, economic recession, etc. So the ethical portion of sports is you are getting millions of dollars. You are getting innumerable people. A proportionate or a considerable proportion of whatever you earn, whatever you accumulate in bidding and various other things, that should be attributed for the welfare of the society. Unless it is done, the curse on the sports will not go. Media, politics, sports, they are all areas of more public concentration and wealth accumulation, and it is the wealth of the poor. It is not offered by voluntary donation and realization. It is by craze and temptation, which is being exploited. So, either you should cancel all of your programs or convert your programs into charitable movement by which a reasonable proportion is offered to everybody. It is not a sports economics. Sport politics, you know that somebody asked how we can go in Olympic. Then I told them why we have to go to Olympic? Because Olympic already they have reported that most of the people are life members. Till they die, we cannot expect any justice. If there are life members, there was racism, anti-Semitism reported, and there is nepotism and corruption. You know that 1998 for the same Lake Salt City program of Olympics in 2002, there was a big corruption for getting that place sanctioned. And even now there is a corruption which is very much gossiped regarding the bidding for 2012 Olympics. Even for the advanced bidding, they have got millions of dollars of corruption now. So apart from these things, there are innumerable other things known as violence and terrorism in sports. Somebody told that they are doing MPhil on violence and terrorism in sports. Somebody told that they are doing research on not about sports development and sports and social concern, consciousness. There are no people to research. But here somebody told that utility of provoking drugs for additive performance in sports. Somebody is doing research on that. So each and everybody, so that's why a lot of countries they boycotted. You have heard the history of Ireland boycott of Olympics, Georgia boycott of Olympics, Melbourne boycott of Olympics. Everything was boycotted. So we should understand what is ethics and what is our social concern, etc. So how to develop all of these things? There are only 3 messages which we want to give for all of these developments. Number 1 is, philosophy says, not only sports is sports, everything is sports, and sports is an exercise or rehearsal to see the sportive dimension of each and every art of life. That's what the philosophy says. Education is a sport. A real person should take education as a sport, not as a punishment. Then love is a sport. War itself is a sport, provided you are in the defensive side, not in the offensive side. War is that. Charity is a sport. So any person who is a sportsman should extend 2 things. 1, seeing education, love, self-defense and charity as sports, and developing education, love, defense and charity through sports. That should be the bidimensional goal of each and every sportsman or human being. Second thing is, in sports there are a lot of hidden talents. There are a lot of people who are non-academic, rural, women, deprived, downtrodden, who are having latent talents inside. So we should develop an innovative talent research, identification and nurturing academy where women, rural people and tribal people who are having para-academic skills or trans-academic skills without being lettered with ABCD. Such people's inbuilt God-given talent should be nurtured and pooled as a resourceful repository for the national development and pride. That should be done. More than the academic people. In academic people, entry is difficult. Sustenance is difficult. Coaching is costly. There is a competition, a rivalry, mutuality, diplomacy, politics. That innumerable things are there. So unless there is an Independence Day for sports from all of these unmurky and unruly non-state reactors, we cannot get real sports. Sports will become a successful failure if sport is not given the sportive dimension. The third thing what we have to do, in development of sport is, instead of going for Olympic, we have to develop certain risky, traditional, talent-oriented exercises of our innate motherland and create a universal platform for that. Instead of we waiting for recognition of somebody, we should behave and we should also befriend our own traditional knowledge in such a level that there is a pool of natural resources of our own indigenous system of sports are established. Like Olympic Games, why can't there be the Bharat Games? Instead of we just chasing for their recognition, why can't we behave in such a manner that they will come after us chasing for our recognition and appreciation? This is the third message which I want to give. There are innumerable researches to be done from our own land where there is real work for physical knowledge, where there is real work for mind and disposition, where there is a real feast and flood of intellectual stamina, where there is a torrential and turbulent shower of ability and execution.